You have ambition. Whether you're striving to attain a new position at work, or you've gotten it and you want to thrive, or perhaps you seek to develop your capabilities to create something new, something that contributes to your global or local community. The Executive Masters in Leadership program at Georgetown University can help you achieve these dreams. They can help you whether you have highly specific goals or more general aspirations. Students for the Executive Masters in Leadership program are looking to renew their learning in preparation for the next stage of their careers. They're looking to strengthen both their credentials and their capabilities to be trusted leaders. The Executive Masters in Leadership program at Georgetown is an opportunity to reposition yourself professionally and to prepare for future leadership roles. It's a chance to challenge yourself to reach higher plateaus, to explore new arenas, and to map out a journey towards your best self. So we've developed a program that is really sets of interrelated competencies. These leadership competencies begin with understanding the self and your relationship to other people. Then you broaden out and start to understand organizational dynamics, competencies that help you understand the organizational life in which you live. And then finally, there are competencies that help you understand the environment, the global or local communities in which any organization is embedded. These leadership competencies are cultivated through acquisition and knowledge, but also through insight. In the 1940s, a social psychologist named Kurt Lewin developed the concept of a force field analysis. The idea behind this concept is that people or situations or organizations are maintained by an equilibrium of forces that drive change and others that resist change. So most often people think to push through a change, to increase the driving forces that shove the status quo to the right, to the desired state. But often it can be much easier and cheaper to simply remove the restraining forces, to eliminate barriers. So the Executive Masters in Leadership program at Georgetown focuses on cultivating awareness of when to push and when to simply remove obstacles that might be in your way, boulders that might have fallen on your road to success. And as we learn early, sometimes our biggest obstacles are ourselves. Sometimes we just have to get out of our own way. We will dig into each of these concepts, both the obstacles and the forces for change, in each of the courses. So for example, in one of the courses you'll take in Mod 1, negotiations, what habitual strategies do you use when negotiating? What are helpful? When are they helpful? What are common biases and heuristics around negotiation that trip everybody up? What environment do you want to create for optimal bargaining? The program itself is comprised of 12 base courses. The first 4 courses, highlighted there in light blue, focus on self and relational competencies. So for example, cultivating emotional intelligence, negotiation prowess, accountability, communication skills, problem solving. Then we build outward towards organizational competencies. The next, shown in green, tend to focus and explore organization level concepts, such as human capital management, data analytics, strategy, leading cultures. Then finally, we'll reach out even further towards global community competencies. So again, every organization is embedded in an environment, and we need to know who are the multiple stakeholders. We need to understand issues of sustainability and development, continual learning and innovation. These are all topics discussed within a global mindset. Although the 12 courses are a key component to the Executive Masters in Leadership curriculum, we supplement these courses with integrative experiences. For those of you who've played on a sports team, you can think of the courses as drills you do in practice. So shooting drills, running drills, blocking drills, tackling drills. The courses tend to build on specific competencies. Then the integrative experiences are like scrimmages. They bring it all together as a sort of culminating experience. There's a personal leadership action plan that will be the culminating experience for the self and relational module, or the individual relational module that you see in light blue. Here, you'll focus on developing your own personal plan for leadership and your leadership career moving forward. Then, for the organizational unit, we have what we call a leadership organizational capstone, which is going to be a problem that you choose. We'll get to more of that in a few minutes. Finally, for the global community unit in blue, there is going to be a global residency that you do. So typically what you'll do is learn about another culture and its systems. Then you will be and this has historically been South Africa. You'll get divided up into teams, and you will essentially serve as consultants to a real life organization that is going through some sort of problem and wants solutions. You will develop these solutions in part through a DC-based component, and then travel to that country for a week and present out to your clients the solutions that you've developed to the real challenges that they're facing. Throughout the entire curriculum, you will get individual leadership coaching that will help you leverage everything you're learning in your base courses, as well as help you capture the most value from your integrative experiences. Now, to return just for a moment to the notion of the organizational capstone. This is based on one component that's really critical to the Executive Masters in Leadership program, which is our guiding principle of using evidence to drive decisions and actions. Too often, decisions are made based on supposition, conjecture, or merely habit. Our program will teach you how to gather multiple pieces of evidence, evaluate the quality of evidence, and synthesize the best available evidence from multiple sources to arrive at evidence-driven decisions and actions. So you will be taking a leadership problem that you find relevant to yourself or your organization. You'll be diagnosing various causes of it, and you will we'll start with basic principles of scientific investigation. So what do past scientific investigations tell us about this problem? But science is like a map. So like any map, it gives you some direction, it gives you some parameters, but it never has perfect fidelity. It can tell you where the road is, but it doesn't tell you if there's a pothole on the road. For that, you have to keep your eyes on the road. So similarly, you can't just drive by looking at a map. Well, you have to seek out the best on-the-ground experiential evidence when you're investigating any problem. So you'll be talking and interviewing key experts as you go through and think about the problem that you're trying to solve. And then finally, you have to consider the organizational context. What are the norms of that environment that could turn a wise decision into a disaster? So you'll learn all the steps in this process, and you'll practice executing evidence-driven decisions and actions for leadership under the auspices of your own personal mentor. So that personal mentor will lead you along on this capstone journey. In short, our program teaches leaders to think like scientists as they interpret evidence and learn to discern meaningful results from that evidence. But it also teaches you to think like artists, to imagine solutions to situations beyond the current and obvious. And then finally, it draws on our rich Jesuit heritage at Georgetown to cultivate a values-based approach to making morally wise program and policy choices. So if this sounds like something you'd like to be involved in, I certainly hope you'll consider joining us.